Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Bellevue Bruins Sports Network. Coming to you live from John Stella Field at Brown Park in Omaha, Nebraska. We bring you the final non-conference doubleheader action as the Bellevue Bruins will host the visiting Peru State College Bobcats out of Peru, Nebraska. Mick Krupski along with Nick Grimm back with you to bring the play-by-play and color commentary of today's game. It's a pretty decent day for the middle part of March here in the Midwest. About a 58-degree temperature at start. The wind out of the south at about 12 miles an hour, which means it'll be blowing out toward left field today as this contest gets underway. Nick, welcome back to the broadcast. Any preview of today's game?
Thank you for welcoming me back. It's good to be here. I would just say that we can expect to see a lot of hits, but I would advise Bellevue not to rest on their laurels after their incredible 2 games yesterday. The leadoff hitter for Peru State, Benitez, he's currently leading the team in both doubles and stolen bases, so I'd keep an eye on that.
Try to keep him off the bases for sure. You mentioned yesterday's doubleheader down in Peru on the campus of Peru State College. The Bruins got great pitching performances and timely hittings. Parker McMahon set the day, going a full 7 innings, striking out 9 and no walks to pick up the win in game number 1. Kenji Miller followed that up with a 10-strikeout, 1-walk performance to get the complete game victory in game number 2. Scott Hansen was the man at the plate for the Bruins, going 5 for 8. He had a combined doubleheader cycle. He hit for everything he possibly could. Home run, triple, double, and a couple singles as well, along with 7 runs batted in. 2 other Bellevue players went yard as well. Aiden Macaris and Logan Grant joined Hansen with that home run trot yesterday.
Well, I suppose if all that's up for grabs, why not go for the cycle, you know?
So Bruins come into today's contest at 12 wins and 10 losses on the season. The Bruins on a 2-game winning streak with that doubleheader sweep yesterday. The Bobcats are 9-17 overall. They compete in the Heart of America Athletic Conference. They are 4-8 in conference play. 13 schools comprise the HAAC, so they've got those games started in conference as well. The Bruins will begin their North Star Athletic Association conference play. The 3-hole hitter is the catcher, Gustavo Rivera. Batting cleanup for the Bobcats, the designated hitter, Yomar Perez. Batting 5th and playing first base is Josh Schaller. Batting 6th, the second baseman, Garrett Pavletich. Batting 7th, the third baseman, Cuddy George. Hitting 8th, the right fielder, Jonas Mears Richmond. And batting 9th, the shortstop, Xavier Soya. On the mound for the Bobcats this afternoon in game number 1 of our doubleheader is pitcher Blake Denson. Again, the batting order, Benitez, Lynch, Rivera, Perez, Schaller, Pavletich, George, Mears Richmond, and Soya. For the home team Bruins, here is the starting lineup that head coach Dwayne Monlax will send out. Leading it off for the Bruins, the third baseman, Scott Hansen. Batting second and playing first base is Steven Elsner. Batting third, the catcher, Logan Grant. The cleanup hitter for the Bruins is the center fielder, Jake Lacey. Batting fifth and playing right field, Anthony Lind. Batting sixth, the designated hitter, Aiden Macaris. Batting seventh, the second baseman is Ballas Buckmaster. Batting eighth and playing left field is Elijah Tanner. And batting ninth, the shortstop, C.J. Townsend. On the mound in game number 1 for the Bruins, right-hander Gavin Wuschke. Wuschke, a 3-1 record on the season, a 4.15 earned run average. Today, Bellevue celebrates the memory, the legacy of former Bruin player Payton Higgins. Payton was a 3-year member of the Bellevue squad. Most of you know his story. Unfortunately, in the fall before his senior season, wasn't feeling well, went to the doctor and was diagnosed with cancer. He underwent treatment, suffered some very painful treatment, a long recovery. He gutted it out, came back to play 1 series in his senior year, and for his efforts, he earned the NAIA Player of the Week. Unfortunately for Payton and his family and friends, he passed away a year after graduating from Bellevue University. So today we celebrate his memory. It's a fundraiser here for the Payton Higgins Scholarship. So if you come to the ballpark, drop a couple of bucks in the bucket on the entryway. You can also make a donation online. You can find that at the Bellevue University Athletics website.
It's a beautiful day to honor his memory, too.
A great guy, as we said. He played 3 years here for Bellevue, was looking forward to that senior season. He started each of his 2 previous years and didn't get a chance really to live out his baseball dreams. His life cut short. He was diagnosed with high-grade neuroendocrine carcinoma of the pancreas. And to his wife, Jordan, and all of his family and friends, we celebrate the memory of Payton Higgins today. Right now, as we turn our attention back to the field, the Bruins take the field as we get ready for our national anthem in just a few moments, as public address announcer and live stats guy and sports information guy Bill Mullins goes through the starting lineups for both squads. For the Bellevue Bruins, 12 and 10 overall. The Bruins are averaging 7.5 runs per game. The visiting Bobcats, only 1 run in 14 innings yesterday. They're averaging 5.3 runs per game. So again, great pitching yesterday from Parker McMahon and Kenji Miller, and timely hittings. The Bruins offense led by Scott Hansen.
Please welcome our officials for today's game. Behind the plate, Andrew Kryling.
Home plate umpire today will be Andrew Kryling, and on the bases will be David Teeter. And now we direct your attention out to the flagpole out behind the center field fence as we get ready for our national anthem. All right, our first assist of the afternoon goes to Nick Grimm as he stuck the microphone out the window so we could hear this playing of our national anthem. Thanks, Nick, for that.
The birds chirping in the background with the national anthem, it just sounds like baseball to me. I cannot wait to get this started.
Baseball time in the Midwest. It's Saturday, March 22nd, listening live, coming to you from John Stella Field at Brown Park in Omaha, about a 10-minute drive from the Bellevue University campus. Right-hander Gavin Wuschke on the mound for the Bruins. Can you tell us a little bit more about Gavin on this 2025 season?
I can do that. Let me pull up.
Sorry, should have given you a little heads up on that. So
No worries. I had it ready to go. So he's had 7 appearances. He started 7 games, 3 wins, 1 loss, 30 innings pitched with a 4.15 ERA, 129 WHIP, and 22 strikeouts on the season.
So a good start for the big right-hander out of Canada.
Very good start.
From the town of Regina, Saskatchewan, to be exact, one of the many Canada members. He'll be having a Canadian battery mate as well. Behind the plate will be Logan Grant. Let's set the Bellevue defense as we get ready for the top of the first. On the infield, Stephen Elsner is the first baseman. Ballas Buckmaster getting the start at second. C.J. Townsend is the shortstop, and the third baseman is Scott Hansen. Across the outfield, Elijah Tanner in left, Jake Lacey in center, and Anthony Lynn in right field. We gave you the battery for the Bruins, Grant and Wuschke. Both of those guys played last year in the Western Canadian Baseball League. It's a college-level, non-professional league. Their team, the Okotok Dogs, won the conference championship. So both of those guys celebrating along with 4 Bruin graduate members on the team. So some summertime baseball after finishing up the spring season with the Bellevue Bruins. All right, let's get to the action. Leading it off for the Bobcats, the center fielder, Antonio Benitez. First pitch from Gavin Wuschke. Fastball fouled away back to the screen by Benitez. You talked about Benitez as being the table setter for the Bobcats.
He is. He currently holds the record for the team in doubles and steals. So you just got to keep him off base. You keep him off base, I think he's manageable. But even then, he's still hitting .317 and has 22 RBI.
Second pitch misses away, evens the count at 1-1.
He's got a bit of what I described as kind of a relaxed batting stance.
Breaking ball chopped on the ground. C.J. Townsend goes into the hole, gloves it, long throw across the diamond. It will not get there in time. Antonio Benitez with an infield single to start things off. C.J. made a nice play, but his momentum carrying him away from that first base bag, and his throw just not in time.
It's like he'll be kind of relaxed, and then the second he sees Wooshke start the pitch, he just coils up right away. It's like a spring.
Two-hole hitter for the Bobcats, the left fielder, Jackson Lynch. Wooshke working from the stretch, fastball, ball one. Again, the Bruins with a doubleheader sweep yesterday in Peru. Not the country, the city. Growing up as a little kid, I always wondered, why do they call it Peru, Nebraska? Was it named after the South American country? And the answer is no. Runner goes, pitch, a called strike to throw to second base a little bit high. In fact, it gets out into center field, backed up out there and retrieved back in the infield. So Antonio Benitez adds to his stolen base totals.
He loves stealing those bases. He's really good at it, too.
To finish my thought, Peru, Nebraska, named because the original settlers came from Peru, Illinois.
Oh.
There's a history lesson for the day.
How many Perus do you think there are?
I would fail to make a guess, but there can't be too many of them. About an hour drive south of the Omaha Bellevue metropolitan area is where Peru is located. Wooshke looks in, gets the signal from Grant, who gets the signal from pitching coach Sean Malley. Looks the runner back to second. Now picks up the target at home plate, a breaking ball for the called strike. Nice movement down and across on the curve from Wooshke.
I really liked the arc on Wooshke's throw there. It looked like it was really close to the edge of the zone. Great throw.
Again, the set at the belt and delivers. Little chin music brushes the batter Lynch off, evens the count at 2-2.
I just keep looking at Benitez, just waiting to see when he's going to break for third. He's got a bit of a lead right now.
Second baseman Ballas Buckmaster trying to keep him close. Now Buckmaster backs off, now back again. Little cat and mouse game at second base. Breaking ball foul back to the net. Count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes on Jackson Lynch. Lynch hitting .250 on the season for the Bobcats, but does get on base a lot. A .250 batting average, but a .438 on base percentage. 2-2 pitch just misses. That'll run the count full.
Also majors in business and sports communication, so I got to be careful. If I'm not good enough, you might kick me out and sub him in.
Here's the pitch. Fastball, called strike 3. Good location on the outer half. And the first strikeout of the afternoon for Gavin Wooshke. Runner remains at second base, so Lynch failed to advance Benitez.
Again, Wooshke looks like he's just painting the outside of the zone. It looks very close, and I wouldn't swing at those pitches either if I were these guys.
The 3-hole hitter for the Bobcats, the catcher, Gustavo Rivera. Rivera, .317 hitter on the season. Buckmaster goes to second base. Now he returns to his normal position. Grant thought about throwing behind the runner. The pitch, a called strike again on the outer half.
Rivera is also scary, but for a different reason. He leads the team in home runs right now at 7.
18 home runs on the season, for the Bobcats. Another called strike, 0-2. The Bobcats have played 26 games on the year, 18 home runs. The Bruins have played 22 games and have launched 26 home runs. So the Bruins leading in that power category over the Bobcats. Wooshke, the deep exhale on the mound. Powers the fastball for the strikeout. Second out of the inning. Gavin Wooshke showing some pop. Don't have a jugs gun up here, but Wooshke can get it into the low 90s or right around the 90-mile-per-hour degree.
Oh, we don't have a gun. We can just say how fast he's.
Yeah, we'll just make something up.
That was a 120-mile-an-hour splitter.
Here's the DH, the cleanup hitter, Yomar Perez. Misses low and away. Benitez, the runner at second, doing his best to try to distract Wuschke. Perez, 286 on the season. Swing and a miss. Gets away momentarily from Grant. He picks it up to hold the runner at second base. One ball, one strike to count.
You can tell he's just itching to make a break for third the first chance he gets.
Again, the set by Wuschke.
He being Benitez.
A double look to keep the runner close, and now the delivery. Runner goes, pitch on the outside corner, a perfect strike thrown by Logan Grant down to third baseman Scott Hansen. And Antonio Benitez out on the steal attempt. 2-5 on the play. The old saying, never make the third out at first or third base. And anyway, Benitez trying to take advantage, but gets cut down by Logan Grant. The inning comes to an end. No runs on one hit. There were no errors and nobody left on base after a half. The Bobcats nothing, and the Bellevue Bruins coming to bat. I said that terribly. Never make the first or third out at third base.
Well, you
is
said
what
it,
I meant to say.
You said it's an old saying. It's easy to forget old things.
Including my mind. So as we look down, we see a right-hander going to the mound for the Peru State Bobcats. He is Blake Denson. Let's set the Bobcat defense around Denson. Across the infield, Josh Schaller is at first base. The second baseman is Garrett Pavletich. The shortstop is Xavier Soya. The third baseman is Cuddy George. Across the outfield, Jackson Lynch is in left. The center fielder, Antonio Benitez, and the right fielder is Jonas Mears-Richmond. The battery for the Bobcats on the mound, Blake Denson, and behind the plate is Gustavo Rivera. All right, let's find out a little bit about Blake Denson.
Right now in the season, he's pitched 28 innings. He's got 40 hits, 28 runs, 26 earned runs. He's walked 11 hitters. And he's got an 2 wins, 4 losses with an ERA of 8.36. His last outing was last weekend when they played Clark, Iowa. That was a loss, and he only pitched 0.1 inning. Inning.
1/3 of an inning.
One-third of an inning.
Yep, got one out in his time on the mound last week. Hoping for a little better showing today.
Mick, I did not get into broadcasting because I'm good at math. Unfortunately, I love a sport that's all numbers.
There we go. For the Bruins, it'll be Hansen, Elsner, Grant, Lacey, Lind, Macaris, Buckmaster, Tanner, and Townsend. The Bruins having a couple of guys become eligible earlier this month, and 2 of them in the starting lineup today. That's Aiden Macaris, the DH, and Ballas Buckmaster at second base. Also, Rafael Nakandakari became eligible as well for the Bruins, and we get ready for the Bruins to get back to work on offense. Yesterday in the doubleheader, the Bruins, with the doubleheader sweep, 6-1 in game number 1, 12-0 in game number 2. Leading it off for the home team, the third baseman, Scott Hansen. A great day at the plate yesterday, 5 for 8. Hansen batting .349 on the season for the Bruins. First pitch swinging, grounded to short. Pick there, throw across the diamond. Close play, but just in time to get Hansen hustling down the line. Nice job on the strong arm throw by Xavier Soya, the shortstop. 1 pitch, 1 out in the bottom of the first inning. The 2-hole hitter for the Bruins, first baseman Steven Elsner.
It is worth noting that the Peru pitcher, I just lost his name already. I have it in front of me. Blake Denson, also a 2-way player. Now, he's no Shohei Ohtani, but it's still impressive. He's hitting .250 on the season right now.
First pitch to Elsner, a breaking ball, called strike 1. Elsner, the team leader in batting average, .436 on the season. He and Logan Grant have been in a battle for the home run leadership as well. Elsner hits that one sharply into right center field. It's going to go to the fence. One hops the base of the fence. Elsner around first on his way to second. He'll have the stand-up double with one away. Nice piece of hitting there. Pitch over the outer half of the plate. Elsner hit it on a line.
He did a really good job of really finding the gap in that outfield, and the way the ball curved, too, it was really good. I like the arc on that.
Those of you who are with us for game number 1 of the season, Elsner started out with back-to-back-to-back doubles. That's now his 9th double on the season. He's in scoring position for Bruin catcher Logan Grant.
I think we should give him a nickname. How's the daily double sound?
There you go. Grant, the left-handed batter, waits the first pitch from Blake Denson. Breaking ball bounce. Nice job by the catcher, Gustavo Rivera, to keep that in front. Took it off the left upper part of the shoulder of the chest protector. Grant hitting .342. An NAIA All-American last year for the Bruins. Elsner, a preseason All-American this year for the Bruins, gets his lead off of second base. The next pitch missing away, 2-0. Or excuse me, 1-1. Yep, now we go. The home plate umpire, Kryling, corrects himself. 2-0 the count on Logan, which is what we originally thought.
Grant
goes after a high fastball, comes up empty, 2-1.
Has a really good eye for the ball. He leads Bellevue with 13 walks on the season so far. It's incredible discipline. I don't have that. I'd like to swing at everything.
Logan patiently awaits.
I'm also a Rockies fan, and they also like to swing at everything.
On the outside edge, called strike 2. Logan didn't like the call, but he'll step out momentarily. And now back in to get to work. Now he's going to have to protect the plate. Short lead at second by Elsner. Now he'll get the walking lead with the pitch. Breaking ball hit hard to second base. Two-hopper glove there by Garrett Pavletich. His throw to first base is in time as Elsner advances to third on the play. So it'll be up to the cleanup hitter, center fielder Jake Lacey, to knock in the first run of the game for the Bruins if he can here.
Jake Lacey majoring in cybersecurity. Maybe he can hack his way into a hit. That
Bada
works,
bing,
right?
bada bing.
I tried.
Lacey, .293 batting average on the year so far. Lays off a breaking ball, ball 1.
Again, really good eye. I probably would have swung at it, but there's a reason I'm not out on that field right now.
Lacey, .293 average, a .381 on base percentage, and a .451 slugging percentage. Again, the breaking ball again, laying off, 2-0 the count.
That one was pretty far outside the zone. The way it kind of dipped down into the right.
The set and the pitch. Called strike on the knees. Good location on the offering from Blake Denson, especially on a 2-0 count. Bruins in their white pants, black and white uniform tops today. The visiting Bobcats in gray uniform with royal blue trim. Up and in, 3-1. Hitter's advantage once again. All the Bruin players today wearing the Payton Higgins jerseys. Higgins' name on the back of every uniform for the Bruins. Celebrating Payton's legacy today. 3-1 payoff pitch. Hit in the air to center field. Settling underneath it. And making the catch is Antonio Benitez, and the side is retired. For the Bruins, no runs on one hit. There were no errors and one man left on base. So both teams get a runner in scoring position in the first inning, but failed to score. 0-0 our score right here on the Bellevue Bruins Sports Network. Hey, again, we want to remind you, we'd like to have you participate in the Bellevue Sports Network. Bellevue fans, you know this number all season long. Peru State fans, we invite you to join us as well. If you'd like to send a text message, the number is 402-515-6985. 7-6, 5-4. Let us know where you are, who you're rooting for, any words of wisdom you want us to pass along. And we've got one in the queue already, and a picture as well.
Picture? What do we got?
Yeah, from the Townsends up in Oregon. We got our first baby. It's a picture of CJ's brother Blake and his dad as well from the Townsends in Rainy, Oregon. Let's go, CJ. We also think of Payton today. What a great guy. So CJ was a teammate, I think, for 1 year with Payton here at the Bellevue Bruin baseball squad. So Townsends, thanks again for joining us today. We're sending along that text message. Again, the number 402-515-7654 on Payton Higgins' Legacy Day, striking out cancer on Payton's Day, the official title that we've given to today's contest. Leading off the top of the second inning for the Bobcats, the DH, Yomar Perez. He was at bat when Benitez was thrown out attempting to steal in the top of the first inning. First pitch fastball swung on and missed. Wuschke's been working ahead of most of the hitters this afternoon. We're just in the top of the second inning, but that's always a good way to start off the ball game. That one's hit hard to left field on the breaking ball, and that's going to carry out of here. Yomar Perez kept his hand back, reading a curveball, and drives the solo home run over the left field fence for a 1-0 lead for the Bobcats.
So usually when somebody hits a home run, there's a really distinct sound with the bat. That was interesting because it sounded to me like it was a soft hit, but it got the distance and it cleared the fence.
Definitely had, somebody trying to call in. Sorry, we can't take phone calls because we're on air, but if you'd like to send along a text message. And now my phone won't work, so we'll just put it over here as the next man steps in, first baseman Josh Schaller. Left-handed batter, first pitch, ball one.
I believe that was Perez's 4th home run of the season, by the way.
Outside fastball gets the call, 1-1. Schaller hitting .320, among the leaders in batting average for the Bobcats. The next pitch low and away, 2-1. As a team, the Bobcats .262, their season average. The Bruins hitting about 30 points higher at .295. That one comes in upstairs.
Schaller tied in triples with Rivera, both at 2 of them this season so far.
About the halfway point of the 2025 season for both squads. Down low, and Schaller draws the walk. First walk given up by Gavin Wuschke.
That's Schaller's 7th walk of the season as well.
Now batting the second base.
Next batter for the Bobcats, second baseman Garrett Pavletich.
Pavletich is another two-way player.
Strike one on the first offering from Wuschke.
He was actually last on the mound last weekend on the 15th, also when they played Clark.
Wuschke from the set. The pitch, breaking ball low and away. .292 is the batting average for Pavletich. Chopped hard down third base. Scott Hansen grabs it, throws to second base. And that's all the Bruins will be able to get. Nice job on the defensive play by Scott Hansen. The ball took him toward the third base line. Gloved it, bobbled it, grabbed it, and from his knees threw out Schaller at second base. So 5-4 on the lead runner. Pavletich reaching on the fielder's choice. Cuddy George, the third baseman, steps into the box for the Bobcats. 1 on, 1 out, 1 in the top of the second inning. Breaking ball stays upstairs.
So I think that it's undisputed that some of the best names in sports are in baseball. And Cuddy George is absolutely proving my point.
Chopper off the glove of Wuschke. Glove there by Buckmaster, second base. His throw is off the mark, however. And does it go into the dugout? It does, so the base runners will advance. And they'll say the lead runner will stay at third as George will go to second. And we'll rule it an infield hit and then an E4 on the throw. I get the thumbs up from Bill, so first error of the game against either team. So two runners in scoring position with one out, and the batter will be the right fielder, Jonas Mears Richmond. Mears Richmond with the number 99 on his jersey. I wonder who his baseball hero is. Aaron Judge comes to mind with that number 99. First pitch from Wuski is outside. Open stance for Mears Richmond. There's a called strike on the knees, 1-1 the count. Bruin infield at regular depth. Corner players might be in a step or two, so a ground ball to a middle infielder may result in a run for the Bobcats. Not so guaranteed to the corners. Swung on and missed on the breaking ball. Blocked up by Grant. Wuski ahead in the count, 1-2. Mears Richmond, a .256 batter on the season. A strikeout would be big, and it gets the inside corner for the second out of the inning. Good location on that heater to retire Mears Richmond.
Once again, incredible control by Wuski. Just painting it.
Well, the runners remain at second and third. Now two away for the 9-hole hitter, the shortstop, Xavier Soya.
While we're giving nicknames, maybe I'll call him Bob Ross.
Oh, my son would be happy with that one. He's a big Bob Ross fan from his old show on PBS. Breaking ball gets the zone for a called strike one.
It's a great show to fall asleep to as a kid.
Soya, .247 batting average on the year. Another breaking ball, this one a little bit low. Soya does have a dozen RBIs on the season. Has an opportunity here with 2 on, 2 out. Fouled off the face mask of Logan Grant, halfway up the first base line.
Sawyer's major, along with a lot of other people from Peru State, kinesiology.
Wow.
I learned what kinesiology was today. Something with muscles and making sure they...
body movement, kinesiology. UNO, University of Nebraska-Omaha, has a big kinesiology program too. So how the body works. Breaking ball hit hard. C.J. Townsend, shortstop, bobbles it temporarily, regains it. And a strong throw across the diamond, 6-3 on the putout. And the inning comes to an end. 1 run on 2 hits. There was 1 error and 2 men left on base after 1.5. It's the Bobcats of Peru State 1 and the Bruins of Bellevue nothing. Again, that text message number, if you'd like to join us, 402-515-7654. This interconference battle between the Heart of America Conference Bobcat and the North Star Athletic Association Bruins. The Montana McMahons are watching from Bozeman. Great wins yesterday. Keep the momentum going. Go Bruins. I bet you guys were especially proud of Parker's effort in that one. Parker throwing the shutout, 7-inning shutout in the Bruins' 12-0 win. What was that line score there? Bruins 12 runs on 15 hits, no errors in that game. Peru State, no runs on only 4 hits and 2 errors. Excuse me, Parker got the win in game number 1. That was the 7-inning, 9-strikeout, no-walk performance in the 6-1 win. And then Kenji Miller threw the shutout in game number 2. So Parker and Kenji, good job. Take the rest of the weekend off. Lind, Macaris, and Buckmaster, the first 3 scheduled hitters for the Bruins in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Again, doubleheader today, 7 innings in game number 1. 9 innings in game number 2. The 10-run rule would take effect in game 2 should that happen. Leading it off for the Bruins, right fielder Anthony Lind.
Bruins in the second, the right fielder, number 17, Anthony Lind.
Lind just a couple of ticks under the 300 mark, 294 his batting average. First pitch fastball from Blake Denson, strike one called. Dwayne Mollux, the Bruins head coach, now in his 15th year with the program. The Bobcats' Blake Bieber in his second year. Foul back to the netting. 0-2 on Anthony, the Omaha native. Big overhand breaking ball, misses outside.
Lind also the only Bruin with a triple on the season.
Another sweeping breaking ball, again outside.
Also tied with Scott Hansen for stolen bases.
2-2 pitch popped up on the infield. Who's going to take charge? First baseman, second baseman. Now it'll be the second baseman calling off his teammate. That's Garrett Pavlicich, who'll catch it for the first out of the inning. Sky-high fly ball. A lot of altitude, but not a lot of distance to retire Anthony Lind. Next up, the designated hitter, Aiden Macaris.
Another product of Canada from Okotoks, Alberta?
Okotoks.
Okotoks. Thank you. Okotoks, Alberta.
Denson ahead in the count, 0-1. Again, that breaking ball. This time it stays upstairs. That seems to be the feature pitch for Blake Denson, the big overhand curveball. Has some good movement, good depth as well. Dallas Buckmaster awaits on deck. Fastball catches the outside black for the called strike two.
I don't know if I liked that call.
Macaris hitting 200 on the season in limited action. This is his 11th game on the season since becoming eligible. Hit in the air to right center field. Center fielder Benitez, couple steps to his glove hand side. He'll catch it for the second out. So 2 fly balls on the first 2 hitters in the bottom of the second inning. That'll bring to the plate second baseman Dallas Buckmaster. Twelfth game of the season for Ballas. 250 is his average. First pitch fastball. Called strike one on the outside black.
Not quite a product of Canada, but Anchorage, Alaska, which is adjacent. It's close-ish.
Up the road a bit, breaking ball, low and away. Denson, fastball, fouled against the net. 1-2 the count.
I'm always a little curious about how these Canadian players and these players from like Alaska, how they feel about our climate. No, is 40 like a t-shirt weather for these kids?
I think each one's a little bit individual. Some like the cold, some like it hot. With that old Marilyn Monroe movie, Tony Curtis, Marilyn Monroe back in the day, fouled out of play by Ballas as he stays alive.
That one might have been a little before me.
I'm an old guy, so I have all these old references, as well as some newer ones too. Change up off the hands, flared down the first base line, coming on to make the play on the dive is Josh Schaller to retire the side. So a little shot right off the hands of the bat. And it's a 3-up, 3-down inning in the bottom of second inning. 2 innings complete. The Bobcats lead it 1-0. Peru State, as we mentioned, members of the Heart of America Athletic Conference, 4-8 in the conference right now. That puts them in 10th place in the 13-team league. Mid-America Nazarene, who the Bruins played last weekend in Olathe, Kansas, on top of that Heart of America Conference. The Bruins went 2-1 against the Pioneers of Mid-America Nazarene last weekend. Mid-America Nazarene 7-1 in conference play, 13-6 overall to lead the Heart Conference. For the Bellevue Bruins, the North Star Athletic Association begins play next weekend. Of the schools in the North Star Athletic Association, Jamestown has the most wins with 18. Dakota State and Valley City have 13 wins. The Bruins have 12. 8 for Mayville State and 6 for Dickinson State. And as we mentioned, Valley City State will be the Bruins' first opponent in conference play next week in Valley City, North Dakota. Back to the top of the order as we begin the third inning. Here's center fielder Antonio Benitez. Two hopper, right off the edge of the turf, the green and brown turf. And Hansen makes the play.
That is always, throughout the course of whenever he's at bat, a key out to make.
Well, the Bruins keep Benitez off the base paths.
He's not on the base. He can't continue his stealing spree.
Bobcats got the leadoff guy on in both the first and second inning, but don't do it in third. Again, first pitch swinging. Again, it's Scott Hansen, this time going to his glove hand side. Makes the throw across the diamond, and 2 up. 2 down on 2 pitches. That's efficiency. The next batter, catcher Gustavo Rivera. Expect him to probably take a pitch or two to make Gavin Wuschke work a little bit. At least that's old school baseball. Never want to let a pitcher have a 3-pitch inning. Slightly open batting stance for the Bobcat catcher. He struck out his first time up against Wuschke. Ball 1 low. Gavin wanted that call, didn't get it.
I can understand why you wanted that call, because that placement looks very similar to where he's been throwing the ball all afternoon.
Swing and a miss. Again, the breaking ball. Pulled the string a little bit on that one. Took a little off of it as well. 1-1 the count.
Okay. At where the baseball field, the building behind.
Again, the breaking ball. This time gets the outside corner call.
Yep, no, I appreciate it.
Rivera back in. Now down in the count, 1-2. Gavin delivers. Again, the breaking ball. Not quite so much the slow breaking ball. This time it kind of rides up high. 2-2 the count. 2 ground balls on the first 2 batters in this inning. That sweeper goes way wide. Full count on the 3-hole hitter, catcher Gustavo Rivera.
He got struck out last inning and said, not this time.
And misses upstairs. So Rivera comes all the way back to draw the walk. He'll be the base runner. I expect a courtesy runner to come popping out of the dugout here momentarily. And that is number 6.
Courtesy running for the Bobcats at first base, number 6.
Hiram Betancourt will be the courtesy runner.
And coming to the bat, the first baseman, starting the designated hitter, number 15, Yomar Perez.
We'll get Betancourt's name penciled in the book. As designated hitter, Yomar Perez steps in. Grant with a nice block up on the pitch in the dirt. Perez had the solo home run. He's accounted for the only run of the game thus far. Throw over to first base. Close play, but Betancourt able to get that hand back in. Betancourt, a freshman out of Toa Baja, Puerto Rico. A lot of Puerto Rican natives on the roster for Peru State. Little chopper up the middle. C.J. Townsend comes charging, gets a nice hop, and the flip to first base in plenty of time. So 3 ground balls to the left side of the infield along with a walk comprise the top of the third inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 man left. After 2.5, our score, the Bruins won, and the Bobcats won and the Bruins nothing. Those alliteration specials, the Bruins and the Bobcats, as we head to the bottom of the third inning. Again, if you'd like to join us on the broadcast, send along a text message, 402-515-7654. Mick Krupski and Nick Grimm bringing you the broadcast today. Hey, you mentioned Alaska a little bit ago. We've got our first text from Alaska. Russell Buckmaster, the grandpa of Dallas, listening in Anchorage, Alaska. I really like how you do the call. Well, thank you. We appreciate compliments. Keep those coming. And keep listening right here on the Bellevue Bruins Sports Network.
Well, if you want to be a little cheeky, you can also send us what I would call a dumb debate. Give us a what-if question. Mick and I can argue during the course of the game.
Aha.
Those are some of my favorite ones.
Blake Denson back to the mound for the Bobcats for his third inning of work. He'll be facing the 8-9-1 part of the Bruin order and hopefully more beyond that. Elijah Tanner, C.J. Townsend, and then back to Scott Hansen at the top. Head coach Dwayne Monlix gets his jog in down to the third base coaching box, and we're just about ready to go in the bottom of the third inning. In the current NAIA Baseball Coaches Top 25 poll, the Bruins are just outside of the top 25. They're in the receiving votes category. Bellevue had been in the 14 and 15 spot earlier in the year. And after a couple of those losses early on, they dropped out of the top 25, but close to getting back in.
They were a little streaky at the beginning of the season, but like you said, they've been climbing back up that mountain, and surely yesterday's helped.
Elijah Tanner, left fielder, will lead things off in the bottom of the third for the Bruins. First pitch swinging off the end of the bat, a little skew job down the first base line, and it stays foul, fortunately. Elijah hitting .280 on the year. On the outside corner, 0-2.
I don't blame him for not swinging at that. That was, again, outside of this, these guys are so good at just painting the edge of the zone.
Trying to go outside once again, but too wide. Part of the game within the game. Always watch where the catcher sets up. Gustavo Rivera for the Bobcats, Logan Grant for the Bruins. Sets up pretty much over the outside part of the plate here. That one's fouled out of play right side as Tanner makes contact with the hanging breaking ball. John Stella Field at Brown Park. For those of you maybe from Peru State who are not familiar with John Stella, he was a longtime baseball coach. Pitched low in the area for Omaha South High School, a former minor league baseball player in the San Francisco Giants organization for a couple of years. Played for the Hastings Giants. I think that was Class D back in the late 50s, early 60s, reaching out and lining it into right field. Nice piece of hitting by Elijah Tanner, directing it opposite field for the base hit. Just the second hit of the day for the Bruins. The leadoff man is on for the home team.
When he hit that ball, the ball got right at, not the edge of the bat, but basically as far up the bat to the edge as you could get, and that's what allowed it to shoot over to right field and drop right before it got to their right fielder out there.
9-hole hitter for the Bruins, the shortstop, C.J. Townsend. Hello again to the Townsends listening in Oregon. C.J.'s brother Blake, a one-year member of the Bellevue squad last year. Breaking ball for called strike one. Blake also played college baseball at Oregon State. A look down to head coach Dwayne Monlix. Let's see if the sacrifice bunt might be on here. Cuddy George, the third baseman, playing way in to throw to first base. Sends Elijah diving back.
The Townsend brothers have kind of broken a bit of a streak because their dad played at Western Oregon and their uncle played at Oregon.
Denson comes set. Breaking ball popped up. Will it get out of play or will it stay in play? A couple of Bobcats chasing it. And it'll be the shortstop going a long way to make the catch. Good hustle on the play by Xavier Soya to get to the ball in foul territory for the first out.
That was a pretty good catch from Soya. It seemed like a routine play, but he got a little ahead of it. And instead of trying to back up to adjust himself, he just kind of jumped and arced his back in a way to where he caught that.
When we started the game, it said the wind was out of the southeast at about 12 miles an hour. The flags have barely moved through most of the game, so the less wind, the better. Soya making a nice play there. Back to the top of the order for the Bruins. Here's third baseman Scott Hansen. Second time the Bruins will face starting pitcher Blake Denson. Breaking ball, hit and run is on. Again, a high fly ball, ref side into foul territory. Soya giving chase once again, and a little deja vu play. Shortstop Xavier Soya on the catch once again.
Caught it in a very similar way to the last time he just caught it too.
Probably out of our camera shot there up the third base side. Sorry, we've got the camera on as wide as we can get. So 1 on, 2 away. Here's first baseman Steven Elsner. Elsner with 30 runs batted in on the year for the Bruins. That's tops on the team. 30 RBIs in 22 games. That's getting the job done. Elsner awaits. Let's see how carefully Denson will pitch. Another throw over to first base. Tanner was on the move on a hit and run when Hansen flew out. 1 foot past the cutout. He stays put. The breaking ball. Elsner with a swing and a miss.
I really like his swing. You can just see the power behind it, but it's a smooth power.
Tanner does have 4 stolen bases, 4 out of 5 attempts on the season. But if he does steal, then they'll probably just walk Elsner. Breaking ball, low and away.
You mentioned Elsner led the team in RBI at 30. That's not the only thing he leads the team on. Average, on base, slugging, doubles, home runs. He's been putting the work in.
Second year as a Bellevue Bruin out of San Francisco, California. Ooh, had a pitch to hit there. Fouls it straight back. Got underneath it just a little bit. And now down in the count, let's see maybe here if Dwayne Monlix might try to get Elijah Tanner on the move.
At 6'3", 230, it doesn't surprise me that he's leading the team in the home runs.
Breaking ball. Oh, that from this vantage point looked quite a bit outside.
It looked pretty outside to me too.
But it gets the call for the strikeout to retire the side. No runs on 1 hit. No errors and 1 man left on base. That's the first strikeout of the game for starting pitcher Blake Denson. 3 innings complete. The Bobcats lead it by a score of 1-0. We try not to get on the umpire's cases as the game goes on, but that one may have been more than the 17 inches across the front of the plate.
So I'm not going to attack every for every call, but sometimes, you know.
Kevin Wuschke back to the mound for the Bruins as he begins his 4th inning of work. So far, we've heard from Oregon, Montana, and Alaska.
We need to get a map in here. Just start checking off places we hear from.
We always appreciate people joining us on the broadcast, watching and sending along texts.
There's a restaurant back home. I'm from Manning, Iowa. It's called Cliff's Place. And in there, they have this big laminated map, and you can get push pins and put everywhere where you're coming from, basically, to go. Because they've got a really good pork tenderloin.
Yeah.
One of the best in Iowa. That's an award they won. I'm not just saying that because I'm biased, even though I am.
So if you're ever at Cliff's in Manning, Iowa, just mention Nick's name, and they'll give you one on the house or put it on his tab. So. Again, game number 1, a 7-inning contest. Game number 2, a 9-inning contest in today's doubleheader. That's the new format for doubleheaders by most conferences in the NAIA. We're looking at the middle part of the Peru State College lineup. 5-hole hitter, first baseman Josh Schaller. Walked his first time up. The only walk given up by Gavin Wuschke at this point of the game. First pitch fastball, top of the zone, gets the call, strike one. Again, you're joining us today on Payton Higgins Day, striking out cancer on Payton's Day. Fouled back, 0-2 the count on Schaller.
Schaller majoring in computer science at Peru State.
Schaller's a freshman from Mineola, Florida.
Computer science or computer IT related?
Hit that one hard and through the hole on the first base side. So for the third time in 4 innings, the Bobcats have had their leadoff man reach. Fourth hit of the game for the Bobcats.
It seems like a lot of the guys on Peru State are interested in the computer sciences. This is what I was getting at.
Garrett Pavletich, the second baseman, steps in. He reached on a fielder's choice. Shows bunt, puts it up the third base slide, but foul. Scott Hansen handles it there. He's playing in a little bit, anticipating the bunt. A little small ball. But the Bobcats don't execute on the first pitch. Let's see if head coach Blake Bieber keeps it on once again for Pavletich.
Nothing like a good bunt to keep you on guard.
Not showing bunt there. Takes a breaking ball for a called strike 2. Pavletich, a senior from Bakersfield, California. Bellevue's had a couple of Bakersfield players. It's been a while. Upstairs, 1-2. A waste pitch there from Gavin Wuschke. Breaking ball chopped foul up the third base line. Hansen makes the backhand stab, but clearly in foul territory. We'll do the 1-2 all over again. Hit in the air to the right side, Anthony Lind. A couple of steps to his left, and he'll haul it in for the first out of the inning. Not been a lot of fly ball outs from Peru State batters. Most of them have been recorded on the ground, keeping the infielders busy. In fact, that looks like the first outfield put out of the game. Here's third baseman Cuddy George. Throw to first, chases Schaller back.
The only other time they touched the outfield is when Perez hit that homer in the second.
Yeah, nobody touched that at all.
No.
Breaking ball, gets the call. George reached on an infield single his first time up, a comebacker that deflected off of Wuschke's glove. Breaking ball, here's a double play opportunity for the Bruins. Townsend to Buckmaster to Elsner, and the 6-4-3 double play gets the side retired. No runs on one hit, there were no errors, and nobody left on base after 3.5. Bobcats still lead it by a score of 1-0.
That bobble that Townsend had, it made me a little nervous that they weren't at least going to make it to the first, but they did a really good job recovering and were able to record that double out, or double play, really well.
CJ did a nice job staying with that. One of the keys to that, on the bobble, you always want to reach out with your bare hand. Don't reach out with your glove because that takes a little extra time, and the Bruins able to turn it from Townsend to Buckmaster to Elsner. Not exactly Tinker to Evers to Chance, but it'll work here as the Bruins get ready for their fourth opportunity against starting pitcher Blake Denson. It'll be Grant, Lacey, and Lind to get things started for the Bruins. Aha.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Bill, if you have an opportunity, the score bug is not working on the... I know you're doing 6 things at once. So, so we apologize. The score bug, something's going wrong. We'll try to get that fixed if we can. Otherwise, we'll just keep you appraised of it. 1 run on 4 hits, no errors for Peru State. No runs on 2 hits, 1 error for the Bellevue Bruins. And like magic, the mighty hands of Bill Mullins gets things fixed here on our screen. Thanks to the Townsends for letting us know about that. 1-0 our score. The Bruins trying to break out in the bottom of the 4th inning. Logan Grant, the Bruin catcher, grounded out his first time up. 5 doubles, 7 home runs, 21 runs batted in on the season for Logan. 3rd year in the Bellevue program. First pitch outside, ball 1 for the native of Chestermere, Alberta, Canada, up in the Banff National Park area.
I think if I was from a place called Chestermere,
Legs off that breaking ball upstairs, now 2-0.
I would talk about it all the time. That is an incredible name for a town.
Up in the Canadian Rockies. On the outside, Black. Again, Logan has a word or two with home plate umpire Andrew Kreitling. Again, the catcher setting up on the outside part of the plate. Grant fouls it back to the screen. John Stella Field, as you can probably tell, an artificial field, turf field. It's been that way for about the last 4, maybe 5 years now. Just the infield was done initially, and now, a couple of years ago, the entire facility is field turf. Full count on Logan Grant, leading it off in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Really makes ground hit balls a little more dangerous with the amount of spin they can get.
Payoff pitch, chopped up the middle, off the glove of the second baseman, Garrett Pavletich. It'll be a base hit all the way for Logan Grant. And the Bruins, for the second time today, have their leadoff man on here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Turning our attention to the dugout, we see a courtesy runner coming on for Logan, and it will be Jalen Ruffin.
Courtesy running for the Bruins at first base, number 8, Jalen Ruffin. And coming to bat, the center fielder, number 21, Jake Lacey.
All right, so we've got Ruffin on to run at first base as Jake Lacey, the Bruins center fielder, steps into the right-handed batter's box. Lacey, the cleanup hitter for the Bruins. Shows bunt, and it's fouled right near home plate. Not sure if that went off of Jake or off the Bobcats catcher Gustavo Rivera. Any way you look at it, it's a foul ball, 0-1. So both teams initially not succeeding with their bunt attempts. Dwayne Monlix will bunt with anybody in any spot in the order. And showing bunt once again, this time up the first base side. Perfect location. Denson off the mound to field it, so a nicely executed sacrifice bunt by Jake Lacey. Advances Jalen Ruffin to second on the play. Well, the Bruins with a runner in scoring position once again. Second time this game they've had somebody in scoring position all the way back to the first inning. And now Anthony Lind steps in.
This is the guy you really want to have a runner in scoring position.
Big gap on the right side of the Bobcat defense. If Anthony can direct something that way. Down low, ball 1. Pavletich, the second baseman, trying to keep Ruffin close to second base, and then Hurley running back to his normal position at second base with the pitch. Denson delivers, breaking ball, bounced in front of the plate. 2-0 the count to Anthony.
That was a really good take.
Again, Coach Monlux running through a series of signs. Bruins hoping to tie or take the lead in this bottom of the fourth inning.
Got a little bit of a
hit hard, but right at the third baseman. A self-defense grab over there by Cuddy George as Anthony Lynn just shot that line drive his way. That'll make you want to check your dental plan.
To say, his batting stance, Anthony Lynn's batting stance, had a little bit of Shohei Ohtani to it with the way his bat was sticking straight up. And then the power, that was some Shohei-esque power. Being able to palm that out of the air like that, but great job by the third baseman.
Bobcats make the play for the second out of the inning. That'll bring up the DH, Andrew Macaris. Breaking ball away. The Alberta native awaits the next pitch from Blake Denson. A big swing, foul tipped off the glove, and got a little piece of the wrist of Gustavo Rivera. He's going to walk that off a little bit, but looks like it may have. That left hand is inside the glove, but if the foul ball comes off at an angle, you can get a jam job going on your thumb or your first finger. Waves off the coaching staff, says he's going to be okay, but that's not going to feel good on the next pitch that comes in that hits off that thumb. Let's see if it impedes his swing the next time up he's at bat. 1 ball, 1 strike to count.
Just based off of his practice swings and that last swing of his, Macaris looks like he's really trying to go for it here.
Macaris awaits. Breaking ball. Nice location there. Gets the call. 1-2. Aiden with 36 at-bats on the season. 1 double, 1 home run, 7 runs batted in. Would like to add to that runs batted in total right here. Misses away, 2-2. Aiden, one of the 3 Bellevue players who had a home run in yesterday's doubleheader in Peru. Denson gets the signal he wants, comes set at the shoulders, looks the runner back and delivers. And that one gets through on the wild pitch. Jalen Ruffin will advance to third. So 90 feet away.
He's got a interesting stance. Macaris does.
And a swing and a miss for the strikeout to retire the side. So the Bruins threaten but don't score. No runs on 1 hit. There were no errors and 1 man left on base. The Bruins have left runners on base in 3 of the 4 innings. Our score remains 1-0 in favor of the Peru State College Bobcats. Heading to the top of the 5th. Couple of more texts in the queue. Let's go Bruins. Go Gavin. From Mom and Dad listening in Regina, Saskatchewan. Glad you guys are with us today. It's been a good season for Gavin. Second-year member of the Bellevue squad.
Looks like the wind is picking up a little bit.
Kind of blowing from right field to left field.
Yeah.
That'll give a little extra jolt to those balls hit well to the left field side.
Well, the 1 home run we've had so far this game went right that way, too.
Leading off the right fielder, number 99, Jonas Mears Richmond.
Here we go at the top of the fifth inning. Jonas Mears Richmond will lead things off. He was a strikeout victim his first time up today. Gavin Wuschke returning to the hill for his fifth inning of work. Starts it off with a fastball on the inner half for the called strike one. Both starters have gone the distance so far through the first 4 innings. Fouled out a play opposite way. 0-2 the count. Mears Richmond is a freshman from Valley, Nebraska. Just a little bit west of the Omaha area. I guess you could consider it part of the Omaha metropolitan area. That one's hit in the air to center field, and that's going to drop for a base hit. Oh, again, the Bobcats doing a good job of getting their leadoff guy out. 4 of the 5 innings, they've accomplished that feat. As Jonas Mears Richmond, a line drive to center field.
I tell you, that was a really solid hit from Mears Richmond. Great contact, went exactly where I assume he wanted to place it.
Yeah, Logan Grant's going to go out to the mound to talk to his starting pitcher, Gavin Wuschke. First visit of the game for the Bruins. As shortstop Xavier Soya, the 9-hole hitter in the Bobcat lineup, awaits on deck. I'm thinking bunt here, your 9-hole guy to get to the top of the order. Soya having a conversation with some of the fans in the front row of the bleachers here, and don't usually see the guys coming up to bat talking with the crowd, but Soya taking advantage of the little break. Now he'll step in and we'll see what happens. Scott Hansen, the Bruin third baseman, playing in just a little bit, anticipating the bunt. Throw to second base by catcher Logan Grant, who got out quickly from behind the catcher's spot to field the bunt. It didn't get very far, so a nice job by Logan to get the lead guy on the play. No sacrifice for Soy. Instead, it'll be a fielder's choice. 1 on, 1 out. Top of the order for the Bobcats, third time through. Here's Antonio Benitez. That one's hit to right center field. And that's going to be a one-hopper off the fence. Quickly getting it in is Jake Lacey. That'll hold the runner at third. But a one-out double by Antonio Benitez. Again, runners in second and third for the Bobcats.
With Benitez now on second base, they're going to have to try to both finish out and strike out the rest of the hitters while also paying attention so he doesn't try to steal.
Not going to steal because there's a lead runner at third base there. So Jackson Lynch, the next batter for the Bobcats, the left fielder. He's 0 for 2 today as the Bruins infield comes in trying to put down the run at the plate. And instead, Lynch gets the hit to left field. Here comes the play at the plate, a strong throw, and the runner is out. 1 run, Soya scores on the play, so a run batted in for Jackson Lynch. But the second runner, Benitez, cut down on the play. Nice job from Elijah Tanner on the throw, right on the money to Logan Grant.
Thank you for correcting me on the base stealing thing. I couldn't quite see him there. The pole was in my way. Just had to slightly tilt my head.
So a 2-0 score now. 2 outs in the inning, and catcher Gustavo Rivera at the plate. A strikeout and a walk for Rivera. And let's see if that left hand is hampered at all. He took a foul ball off the thumb of his catching hand. Let's see if it impedes his batting stance, his batting swing. Chases a breaking ball in the dirt. Strike 1 called. Three hits in the inning for the Bobcats so far. That runs their total to 7 on the game. Again, the breaking ball, down low, blocked up. 1-1 the count. Home plate umpire Andrew Crowling will call timeout. One of the little pebbles, if you've never been on a field turf field, there are little rubber pellets that help keep the blades of the field turf but sometimes when balls kick up, those pebbles go flying too, and I think Kryling got one in a little corner of his eye. Looks like he's okay now. We're back to the action. Called strike 2 on the outer half, 1-2. Jackson Lynch, the runner at first base. His RBI single made it a 2-0 game. Short lead at first. Then he goes on the pitch. Here's Grant, the strong throw to second base. But sliding around the tag, Buckmaster doesn't agree with the call. Lynch with a good job sliding to the inside of the base as a throw a little bit high. Dwayne Monlick's now out of the Bellevue dugout once an explanation from base umpire David Teeter. Throw was there in time. It was a little high, so Buckmaster had to put a slap tag on.
That'll make Lynch's second stolen base of the season.
Dwayne's not going to win the argument about changing the call, but he just wants to get an interpretation. And
sometimes you just want to know why, you know?
So Lynch advancing to scoring position with 2 outs, a 2-2 count on Gustavo Rivera. Breaking ball, that one's hit well to center field. Jake on the run, he's going to run out of room, however, as Gustavo Rivera launches a 2-run home run to center field to make it a 4-0 game. Gustavo got all of that one on the sweet spot of the bat as he enjoys the trot around the bases. The second home run of the game for the Peru State Bobcats.
As he comes in, touches home plate, goes to the rest of the team, jumps up high. They all yell, boom!
Bobcat bench enjoying that one. After only scoring 1 run in 2 games yesterday, they have 4 up on the board today. Next up, designated hitter, Yomar Perez. Tries to check his swing. They'll appeal to first. They say couldn't check it. Called strike 1. Perez had the solo home run that got the Bobcats on the board in the second inning.
Put the total number of home runs for Rivera up to 8 for the season.
And now 20 home runs on the year for the Bobcats. 0-2 the count on Perez. That one's hit hard down the left field line. That's going to stay fair. 1 hop off the fence. Tanner, the strong throw into second base, but not in time. It'll be a sliding double for Yomar Perez. So the inning continues. That's now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits on the inning for the Bobcats as their bats have come to life. Head coach Dwayne Monlick pops out of the Bellevue dugout. He's going to head to the mound to visit with Bellevue starting pitcher Gavin Wuschke.
I want to highlight that throw that Tanner made out at left field, because I think if the wrong person would have been out there, that easily could have been a triple. But that throw, being able to at least stop it at second base, it goes a long way. It's the little victories, you know?
Hard to get a triple here at John Stella Field at Brown Park. It's 325 down each lines and about 380 to center field, so there's no real good triple spots like a corner or a gap or whatever here. So we see very few triples here, but again, a nice play by Elijah Tanner there to limit Perez to a double on the play. Conference continues out on the mound as now home plate umpire Andrew Kryling out there to break it up. Wuschke will stay in. We do have action, obviously, in the Bellevue bullpen.
I'm going to continue to get it. Oh, I should have been now.
Single runs in the second and a 3-spot now in the the fifth for the 4 runs scored by Peru State. It looks like we're going to have a pinch runner into the game for Peru State. Jalen Mercader into courtesy run at second base for Yomar Perez. So he's a pinch runner rather than a courtesy runner.
Instead of like
Wuschke back to work against first baseman Josh Schaller. Fastball, swing and a miss. Schaller's been on base both times, a walk and a single on this righty-lefty matchup. On the outside, Black. 0-2 the count on Schaller. Up and away, 1-2. 4 runs on now 9 hits for the Bobcats. Wuschke's pitch count starting to add up. Now 2-2.
Peru State also warming up in the bullpen. Carson Jones.
Pitch bounced to the plate, so from 0-2 and now to 3-2 count on Schaller. Gavin Wuschke trying to work his way out of this top of the 5th inning. Payoff pitch. We'll do it again as that's fouled away. Taking a little time here between Grant and Wuschke to get the pitch they want. The 3-2 on its way. And the Bruins don't get the call. Just missed on the pitch. So Schaller draws his second walk of the game. He's a perfect 3 for 3 on getting on base today. But with runners at first and second now with 2 away, second baseman Garrett Pavletic steps in. He's 0 for 2. Breaking ball down low. Four to nothing our score. We're in the top of the 5th inning. Bruins trying to hold it right there. Throw back behind at first base. The runner Schaller able to dive back.
It's a great dive from Schaller.
2-0 the count on Pavletic. Probably the last man that Gavin Wuschke will face if he gets him or not. A little too low there. Now 3-0 the count.
He wouldn't have got that as out of hand now.
Cuddy George on deck. Should Pavletic reach. There's a strike down the heart of the plate. Now 3-1. Gavin doing all that he can to try to end this inning here without further damage. The 3-1 pitch chopped on the ground. C.J. Townsend up the middle. The toss to Buckmaster, and the side is retired on the fielder's choice. But 3 runs on 5 hits. There were no errors, and 2 men left on base. After 4 1/2, it's the Peru State College Bobcats 4, the Bellevue University Bruins nothing. Time for the Bruins to regroup as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. It'll be the bottom half of the order. Buckmaster, Tanner, and Townsend.
All proceeds delivered to that will be
Blake Denson back to the mound
Payton Higgins Memorial Scholarship.
for Peru State.
Fans are also reminded between games we'll have a free presentation honoring
The Williams family says, "Go Bruins." Always watching down at the barber shop in Missouri. Glad to have you with us. That's Tehran's family. 402-515-7654 is that text message number if you'd like to join us. Bruin fans or Bobcat fans, we'd love to hear from you this afternoon. Game number 1 of a 2-game set. Bruins winning yesterday's doubleheader down at Peru. But the Bobcats with the upper hand, at least in the early going today. Blake Denson has only allowed 3 hits to the Bruins through the first 4 innings of play. Has struck out 2, has not walked a batter. So the Bruin base runners have been pretty limited today.
Doing what he can to lower that ERA this game.
Leading off the fifth for the Bruins, the second baseman, number 24, Dallas Buckmaster.
Blake Denson from Broken Bow, Nebraska.
Dallas Buckmaster will start things off for the Bellevue Bruins in this bottom of the 5th inning. First pitch swinging and foul up the third base line. Buckmaster flew out his first time up today, trying to get something started for the Bruins in the 5th. Thus far, only Elsner, Grant, and Tanner have recorded hits for the Bruins. Can't hold his swing there, now 0-2 the count. A decent day for baseball. We started with a temperature at about 58 degrees. Expected to get into the low to mid 60s today. And that overhand breaking ball fools Buckmaster. The strikeout is the 3rd of the game for Blake Denson.
No, it's funny. I stepped outside the booth earlier before the game started, and it felt warmer out there than it did indoors here.
We're in a cinder block building, so it's always a couple of degrees cooler in here than it is outside. So 1 out. And the next Bruin batter, left fielder, Elijah Tanner. We just said he has one of the Bruins' 3 hits so far today. Again, the overhand breaking ball. Again, a called strike.
That pitch has been killing Bellevue all day.
That slow overhand breaking ball dropping across and dropping down in the zone. If you get fooled, you don't want to swing early in the count. You swing to protect if you're behind in the count. Now 1-1 as that pitch was low.
But fast. He's doing a really good job of just switching it up. Blake is.
Both pitchers working from the first base side of the rubber. Again, another called strike. More of a slider there than an overhand breaking ball. So now Elijah has to go into defensive mode at the plate, trying to protect anything in or around the strike zone. Here's the 1-2. Wide. 2-2.
Blake is really enjoying playing that mental game this game. The combination of pitches, the speed, switching it up, where he's putting it.
Upstairs, full count. Bruins need base runners. Again, the first game is the 7-inning contest. The second game is the 9-inning. Here's the payoff pitch. Swung on and missed. Back-to-back strike. In fact, 3 strikeouts in a row for pitcher Blake Denson. 1 to end the 4th, and now the first 2 in the 5th. Shortstop C.J. Townsend steps in for the Bruins, trying to keep the inning alive.
At this point, it seems like the first, 4 innings were just Denson warming up. And now he's starting to rack up those strikes.
C.J. with 19 hits on the season. 1-0 the count. Flew out to his shortstop counterpart, his first time up. Fastball up and away, 2-0. Hit in the air to the right side. Second baseman going back. Center fielder coming on. Right fielder coming on. It'll be the center fielder, Antonio Benitez, who will grab it. And it's a 3-up, 3-down, bottom of the fifth inning for the Bruins.
3 down in the fifth. After 5 complete for Peru.
Second time on the game, the Bruins have been retired in order by the Bobcats. 5 innings in the book, 2 to go. 4-0 our score. The Bobcats on top. And it looks like we may have a call to the bullpen for the Bruins. Braden Anderson will be the new pitcher for the Bellevue Bruins, number 18.
Now on the pitch for the Bruins out of the bullpen, number 18, Braden Anderson.
So close the book on Gavin Wuschke. 4 runs, all of them earned. 9 hits. 3 strikeouts. His body of work as Braden Anderson comes on for the Bellevue Bruins.
Anderson sporting an ERA of 4.50 this season. Said he's also only pitched 2 innings so far, so it'll be a good opportunity to really see what else he's got in the arsenal.
Yeah, chance for him to come on here and hold down the Bobcats to give his teammates a couple of innings to try to get back into this game. Braden, a 5'10", 195-pound junior out of Kearney, Nebraska. First year as a Bellevue Bruin. The right-hander will get his 8 warm-up tosses, and then we'll get back to the action. He'll be facing the 7, 8, 9 part of the Bobcat lineup as they sent 8 batters to the plate in the 5th inning to put up that 3-run inning.
Leading off the top of the 6th for the Bobcats, the
Third baseman Cuddy George will start things off for the Bobcats. Singled his first time up and then hit into a double play his second. That right foot right at the back edge of the batter's box. Here's the first pitch from Braden Anderson. First pitch fastball has some good pop on it as he blows it past George.
Looking at text from one of the fans, we got uniform.
Anderson last season played at Iowa Western.
Misses low on that, 1-1 to count.
Not only is that my alma mater, he also played 8 games, 4-0 win-loss season. 1.29 ERA in 14 innings.
Very impressive stats for Braden. Like sweeper there. 1-2 the count. Good movement across the strike zone.
George has a bit of a hunch in his batting stance.
Chopper on the ground. C.J. Townsend charged. Short hop. Throw across the diamond. Nicely done by C.J. to retire Cuddy George. Had to charge hard on the play. Got the short hop and then the flick across his body. 6-3 on the play for the first out. Only the second time today Peru State did not get their leadoff man on. Next up, the right fielder, Jonas Mears Richmond. Richmond 1 for 2, a strikeout and a single. Open batting stance on the left side of the box, and that one just grazed his front elbow, so he'll reach on the hit by pitch.
I was just going to say, can you believe that the last time he was at the plate was last inning?
8 batters to the plate in the 5th inning for Peru State. Here's shortstop Xavier Soya. Tried to sacrifice bunt his last time up, but it turned into a fielder's choice on the nice play by Logan Grant. Fastball a little low, ball 1. Soya, another one of the guys from Puerto Rico on the Peru State squad. Lays off that pitch, now 2-0. Bayamon, Puerto Rico, the junior.
Well, I know we allude a lot to the fact that Bellevue has a lot of players from Canada, but I think Puerto Rico is Peru State's Canada.
Different geography and climate, but
A little more south.
I agree with you there. The Bobcats have both their varsity and JV squads listed on their roster, and they've got over a dozen Puerto Rico natives. Swing and a miss on the slider. 2-1 the count. Braden Anderson working against Blake Denson. Breaking ball in the zone, called strike 2, 2-2. Matching the jersey number of Xavier Soya.
Think he's a Derek Jeter fan?
Could be. Decent sized crowd on hand here this afternoon. Temperature in the low 60s. Tries to hold up his swing. Home plate umpire says, no, you did not. So the strikeout is the first of the game for relief pitcher Braden Anderson. Now 2 away. Runner remains at first. And back to the top of the order for Antonio Benitez.
Now batting the center fielder, number 10, Antonio Benitez.
Benitez had a double as part of that 3-run uprising his last time up. 2 for 3 on the day. Runner goes. Pitch, a called strike. The throw is,
That was a really close call.
I'm a former umpire. I don't yell at the umpires, but that was a bad call. The throw beat him. The slap was there. The only way is if he avoided the tag, and didn't look like he did, so it's a stolen base for Jonas Mears Richmond. Now another man in scoring position. Again, Dwayne Monlix was out of the dugout, going to go out to talk to the umpire again, but held back. So no balls, 1 strike to count on Benitez.
Be Mears Richmond's 4th stolen base of the
Little
season.
chopper back to the mound. Anderson fields it, throws it, and retires Benitez on the play. 1-3, so the stolen base doesn't hurt the Bruins. No runs on no hits. There were no errors and 1 man left on base for the Bobcats after 5.5. The Bobcats 4 and the Bruins nothing. Again, part of the game within the game. Bellevue coach Dwayne Monlix started walking down the right field line to talk to the base umpire, and the base umpire just kind of walked out towards center field, and now they both have come together. They're going to have a little conversation out there. You can just see it in the corner of your screen up the right field side. Dwayne still pleading his case. Again, he's not going to get any satisfaction, but he wants an explanation on why that call was made.
Think we could get one too? Want me to go down there and be like, hey?
There we go.
Boots on the ground.
Starting pitcher Blake Denson back to the mound for the Bobcats. He'll be facing the top of the order for the Bruins. So 6 outs left for the Bruins to get back into this one.
Denson has had an incredible game today. Looking at just his raw stats of the season, you wouldn't think that he'd be having the kind of game that he is having currently, but nobody scored for Bellevue.
That's the most important statistic there. He's only allowed 3 hits. He's struck out 4. Hasn't walked a batter. Hasn't hit a batter. So he's kept Bruins off the bases. Let's see if the Bruins can turn it around in this bottom of the 6th inning.
Leading off for the Bruins, the third baseman, number 4, Scott Hansen.
Scott Hansen will lead things off. Scott was 5 for 8 yesterday in the doubleheader. He's 0 for 2 today. Let's see if he can do what a leadoff guy is supposed to do, get on base to get the Bruins offense untracked. A ground out and a fly out so far today. The pitch On the knees, strike one called. Denson working from the windup with nobody on base. Sweeper misses away. Steven Elsner awaiting on deck for the Bruins. Swing and a miss. Nick, as you pointed out earlier, Denson's done a nice job of changing speeds and changing spots against the Bruins, trying to keep them off balance.
It's part of the game within the game within the game, I guess.
And that one fooled Scott Hansen. He knew it. The called strike three for the first out of the inning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 of the last 5 Bruin batters have struck out. 2 of them looking, 2 of them swinging against Blake Denson.
Like, the pitch is, it's random. It's just a grab bag. And he's got enough of them that are varied that he can just take advantage of that.
That last pitch, I believe, a changeup that fooled Scott Hansen. Here's Steven Elsner to try to get things started for the Bruins. Ball 1. That's a pitch that's going to go a long way as Steven Elsner turns on that one, launches it over the top of the batting cage behind the left field fence, and the Bruins are on the board behind the power of Steven Elsner.
You hear a car alarm go off after that? Did that even hit the ground? Is it still up there?
For Elsner, his 9th home run of the season. He doubled earlier in this game, also his 9th there, and now 31 run batted in. All those categories lead the Bruins squad. So the Bruins finally off to Schneid. Handshakes and bat packs for Steven as he heads into the dugout. And that'll bring to the plate the catcher, Logan Grant. We got action in the bullpen?
Not yet, which earlier it looked like Carson Jones was just playing catch.
Here's Logan. He's 1 for 2 today. Up and away.
But they sat him pretty quick. There's nobody in there right now that I can see.
So they're going further with Blake Denson, who's kept the Bruins in check. Those last 2 pitches, however, both of them up and away. And Denson showing a little frustration. And that'll earn a smart visit from his catcher, Gustavo Rivera, to go out and talk to him a little bit, help settle him down.
Yeah, the last inning, just looking at it, we had 3 strikes in a row. That might have been, or 4 strikes in a row. He's had, not in a row. He's had a lot of strikes. And I wouldn't be surprised to be starting to run out of gas if those series of strikes was kind of the last burst, you know?
Denson came into this game with a 2-2 record and 8.36 earned run average. Don't know if he's had a complete game. I don't have those stats available, but he's done an excellent job so far in keeping the Bruins off balance until that pitch that Steven Elsner drove a long way away. 2-0 now the count as the conference is broken up. Logan Grant awaiting the next pitch. Logan jumps on that one, center field, carrying, and over the top, not quite over the top, but into the batting eye in center field. Back-to-back home runs by the 2 guys challenging for the lead for the home run category for the Bruins.
Incredible hit, and I just looked again right before that. Still nobody in the bullpen warming up for Peru State.
For Logan Grant, now 8 home runs on the season, 22 runs batted in, as the Bruin long ball bats have come alive in this bottom of the 6th inning. Let's see if Jake Lacey can keep the party going for the Bruins. First pitch to Jake is hit to the right field side. That's not going to go over the fence. But instead into the glove of the right fielder, Jonas Mears-Richmond. So 2 runs in, 2 outs as right fielder Anthony Lynn steps in, trying to keep the inning alive.
Now batting the right fielder, number 17, Anthony Lynn.
Breaking balls, the first pitch to Anthony. It's in the zone for a called strike one. Called strike two. Again, a breaking ball just on the outside corner. Anthony now has to be protective at the plate. That one bounced away. Nice job by Rivera behind the dish on the pick.
I guess it seems like they're just going to let him play it out.
Congratulations to the Bellevue University women's softball team. They're in action today as well, not too far from here. In fact, the Bruins defeated Omaha's College of St. Mary by a score of 4-2. Thank you, Adam. 3-1 the count. No, it should be 3-2. A swing and a miss, and Anthony Lynn goes down to retire the side. The Bruins do pick up 2 runs on those 2 home runs by Elsner and Grant. No errors and nobody left on base. The Bruins have the deficit, but Peru State still leads it by a score of 4-2 as we enter the 7th and final inning of today's game. Got a text message, a follow-up text from Alaska, and apparently we've been mispronouncing Ballas Buckmaster. His grandpa says it should be Ballas. Ballas Buckmaster. So we apologize for that, and we'll get that corrected. As Braden Anderson back to the mound for his second inning of relief work, came on and threw a scoreless inning in relief last inning, hoping to do the same here to hold down the Bobcat attack. It'll be the 2, 3, 4 part of the lineup for Peru State. Looking ahead at the Bellevue bottom of the 7th inning, it'll be the 6, 7, 8 spots. So the matter at hand is hold the Bobcats here behind Braden Anderson and then get back to work.
Still not a whole lot happening in the bullpen. Except for dudes being guys. Which, at the end of the day, it's what a bullpen is for.
There you go.
Guys being dudes.
Leading it off in the top of the 7th inning, left fielder Jackson Lynch. Lynch had an RBI single in that 3-run 5th inning. He's 1 for 3 on the day. First pitch from Braden Anderson, ball 1.
That pitch was really inside. It was about a hand length. Well, now elbow length.
4 runs on 9 hits for Peru State. 2 runs on 5 hits for the Bellevue Bruins. Now 2-0 the count on Lynch.
Elbow height or elbow length isn't a thing. What is that?
Lynch, a senior out of Wentzville, Missouri. Swing and a miss on the fastball. Second inning of relief work for Braden, the Kearney, Nebraska native. That one's hit in the air to center field. Couple of steps back for center fielder Jake Lacey, and he'll make the catch on the warning track. That ball had pretty good pop off the bat of Lynch, but Lacey making the play for the first out. Next up is the catcher, Gustavo Rivera. Rivera had that 2-run home run. That was the big blow his last time up. Anderson starts him off with the breaking ball. Nice little slider in the zone.
Sure you.
No, I swear to God.
Well, when you said what they charge, I'm like, sure you.
Yeah, right? No, I'm like today he called me and asked me, like, has your credit card ever been on file there? I said,
Little flare down the right field side. That's going to drop just inside the foul line. About a foot inside the foul line, right off the end of the bat for the base hit. Second hit of the game for Rivera. And we'll have his courtesy runner come back in. That is Iram Betancourt.
Courtesy running first.
So his last time up, he hit a blast. Second time up, he hit a bloop.
And contributing for the Bobcats, number 5.
The placement of that ball, you couldn't ask for anything better. To get on base, just that close to the foul line.
Next batter, the DH, Yomar Perez. Little chopper up the third base side, but that's going to go foul.
and she was like, no, I just have to ask this question. I know.
But it's a dumb question.
You could just go through history. To me, like, you can go through history. Yeah, okay, we'll put it through. Well, I was talking to
Perez enjoying a 2 for 3 day. Both of them extra bases, a double and a home run on the outside corner for the called strike. Now 0-2. A home run in the second and a double in the fifth. Grounded out in between. Runner goes. Ball fouled back to the screen, so he'll have to head back. That's courtesy runner Iram Betancourt. Anderson will step off, first disengagement.
Betancourt previously played at the Carlos Beltran Baseball Academy,
Cool.
or attended. I'm sure you did both.
That one's hit hard to the right side. It's carrying out of here. A 2-run home run for Yomar Perez, his second home run of the day.
We've also now seen a ball go over the fence in every sector of this park. We got the left field, the center field, now the right field.
Excuse me, and let me correct myself. Thank you, Bill. That was a pinch hitter for Perez. Jaled
First baseman, number 24.
Mercader, excuse me. Jaled Mercader, who came in to pinch run for Perez. So number 5 instead of number 15. So either way you look at it, it's 2 more runs on the board for the Bobcats. Now a 6-2 score. The Bruins appeal to home plate, hoping that Mercader had not touched the plate, but it is waved off by the umpire, so the home run stands. So 2 runs in the inning, and 1 out. The batter is the first baseman, Josh Schaller. On the ground to second base. Buckmaster gloves it and throws it just in time. Balas maybe taking a little too long to get that out of his glove, but he makes the play. 4-3 for the second out of the inning.
It's
Now batting the second baseman, number 7, Garrett Pavlitich.
Here's second baseman Garrett Pavlitich.
So that's Mercator's first home run of the season, and what a good home run that must have been.
Providing a little extra insurance for the Bobcats. On the knees, the called strike. Anderson trying to get the final out of this inning. Swing and a miss on a nice breaking ball. 6 runs on 11 hits now for Peru State. Called strike 3. Nice location on the inner half. And the side is retired, but not before. 2 runs on 2 hits. A bloop and a blast for the Bobcats. No errors and nobody left on base as we head to the Last Chance Hotel, the bottom of the 7th inning for the Bruins. The Bobcats on top by a score of 6-2. Well, the Bruins need a 4 spot to keep it going, a 5 spot to win. After sweeping the Bobcats yesterday, the Bruins looking up at a 4-run deficit here in the bottom of the 7th. Back to the mound goes Blake Denson. Struggled a little bit in that last inning, but now with a 4-run cushion to work with, he's going to try to finish it.
He has had a really good game today. A really, really good game.
Does he have any complete games on the season? Do you have that on your stat sheet there, Nick?
I can pull that up. I don't believe so because I would have had it on here. No.
All right, so trying for his first complete game of the season. Blake Denson back to work, trying to close this one down. Bruin batter standing in his way. Aiden Macaris, the last Buckmaster, and Elijah Tanner, the first 3 scheduled hitters for the Bruins. And Bellevue hoping for a whole lot more after those 3 guys. Once again, we want to remind you today is Striking Out Cancer on Payton's Day, honoring the memory and legacy of Payton Higgins, former Bellevue player who lost his battle with cancer at the age of 25. We'll have a little ceremony in between games. But the Bruins trying to stage the comeback here, needing 4 runs to keep it going. Leading it off will be the designated hitter, Aiden Macaris. Macaris 0 for 2 today, a fly out and a strikeout. 6 strikeouts on the day for starting pitcher Blake Denson. First pitch to Macaris, upstairs, ball 1. Swing and a miss on a changeup. Bottom fell out of that one. Aiden swung over the top. Bellevue needs base runners any way, shape, or form. Strike on the outside corner. 1-2. Denson has not walked a batter.
He is not.
Lays off that pitch outside. The only 2 Bruin runs coming off solo home runs from Steven Elsner and Logan Grant. That came back-to-back in the 6th inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count.
If he continues, Blake Denson, if he continues this will be his 2nd game of the season where he hadn't had a single walk.
Full count. Payoff pitch leading off the bottom of the 7th inning. A swing and a miss. Again, the changeup. As Aiden Macaris goes down swinging, the 7th strikeout of the game for Blake Denson. The last Buckmaster, 0 for 2, stepping in here.
It's now the 2nd most strikeouts that Blake has had in a game.
Chop foul up the third base side. Denson, the senior out of Broken Bow, Nebraska. Breaking ball stays upstairs, 1-1 the count.
That's what I would do. Bill, Buckmaster. Yeah, I bet.
Bounce to the plate, 2-1. Advantage to the hitter.
There's a house that we shoveled for.
Buckmaster drawing his bat in the turf.
Foul out of play, right field side over the Bellevue batting cage and bullpen. Now 2-2. The 2-2 pitch on its way, and we'll do it again as that's fouled back to the screen. Denson on the delivery. Breaking ball popped up. Sky high, fly ball up the third base side. Who's going to take charge? It'll be nobody as it falls harmlessly in foul territory. Third baseman Cuddy George came on, made a play on it, but kind of lost his footing as he retreated. So it'll stay 2-2.
About 4 of them came up to try to make an attempt to catch that ball, which I think was about 3 too many.
Pitcher, catcher, third baseman all giving chase, but it falls to the ground, and we'll do a 2-2 offering once more.
Look like a bunch of dodo birds going for a watermelon. That's an Ice Age reference.
Okay. Here's again the 2-2 pitch. That one's lined down the left field side. Foul ball.
Oh, that was very close to being in.
Landed about 1.5 feet in foul territory, taking a double away from Buckmaster. He'll retreat back to home plate. Again, we'll do that 2-2 pitch. Taking a circuitous route back to home plate. So
Circuitous, what a word.
hey, I know some words. Some of them I can even use on the air. So
Not once in my life have I ever heard that. I'm learning a lot today.
there we go. Count remains 2-2 on this face-off between Denson and Buckmaster. Chopper to short. Handled there by Soya. And on to first, and the Bruins are down to their final out. Left fielder Elijah Tanner will try to keep the game going for the Bruins. In this 7-inning game number 1, game number 2 will be scheduled for 9 innings. And Blake Denson trying to get the complete game victory. Tanner had a single back in the 3rd inning and a strikeout in the 5th. Ground ball to 3rd. Cuddy George on the play, and the Bruins go down in order in the 7th inning. Our final score, the Peru State College Bobcats 6, the Bellevue University Bruins 2.
Final score from game 1, Peru State 6.
6 runs on 11 hits, no errors for Peru State. 2 runs on 5 hits and 1 error for the Bellevue Bruins. Blake Denson, the winning pitcher for Peru State. He goes to 3-2 on the season with the victory. Game number 2 coming up in just a little bit, about a half hour or so time. In between games, we are going to have our striking out cancer on Payton's Day, so
Breaking out cancer for Payton's Day.
we'll have that for you as well. Right before game 2 or right now?
They're gonna meet and then they're gonna do it after that.
So just keep it going. All right, we're going to keep the feed open as we will have, each team will have a little conference, and then we'll have the ceremony honoring Payton Higgins. We'll be back with that. Keep it right here for more on the Bellevue Bruins Sports Network.
with us on Striking Out Cancer on Payton's Day. The Higgins family and Bellevue University Baseball are proud to announce our annual Striking Out Cancer on Payton's Day, with all proceeds from today's games benefiting the Payton Higgins Memorial Scholarship. The legacy of Payton's tenacity on and off the field and his zest for fun with family and friends will live on forever through the recipient of the Payton Higgins Memorial Scholarship. Payton was born on June 5th in 1998 in Cedar City, Utah. In Payton's special way, he passed away just minutes into his 25th birthday on June 5th, 2023, after a hard-fought 18-month battle with cancer. Payton's initial diagnosis was stage 4 small cell lung cancer and was later specified as high-grade neuroendocrine carcinoma of the pancreas. Payton underwent several different chemotherapies and immunotherapies in order to keep his cancer at bay. He faced each treatment with positivity and hope and never complained when the days got hard. He will forever be an example of determination and perseverance. After beginning his career at Treasure Valley Community College, Payton accepted an opportunity to attend and play baseball here at Bellevue. He was named an NSAA Scholar Athlete in each of his 3 years, earning his bachelor's degree in criminal justice in the spring of 2021, before continuing his education in the master's program. During the next school year, while he was preparing for his senior campaign, he was diagnosed. Cancer was the only thing that ever kept him off the field, but even that wasn't permanent. He returned to Bellevue for senior day weekend, where he made appearances in all 4 games. He drew a walk, scored a run, earned an RBI, and was hit by a pitch in 5 plate appearances, earning NSAA and National Player of the Week honors, celebrating his comeback. Payton completed his Master of Science in Intelligence and Security Studies in August of 2022. He was an exceptional young man, and while many of you may know him for his excellence on the baseball field, his quality as a person dwarfed his athletic accomplishments. He was trustworthy, honest, and compassionate. Payton truly was a blessing to all those who had the pleasure of knowing him. His loss will have a lasting impact on those whose lives have been touched by knowing him, and we love you forever, Peanut. The Higgins family and Bellevue University thank you for your unwavering kindness and generosity. And at this time, we would like to recognize, along with the Higgins family and the Bellevue University Baseball programs, the first ever recipient of the Payton Higgins Memorial Scholarship. This year's recipient is Bellevue University outfielder Anthony Lind. Congratulations, Anthony. And thank you for continuing on Payton's legacy with your receiving the scholarship.
First pitch? Is that right?
What's that?
3:30 first pitch?
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Right.